going to be good at reading out loud.
But I don't have to say acting superintendent and all that stuff.
It will probably be safer if we do. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Santa Fe Public School Board of Education, March 13th, 2025, 4:30 p.m. We will have an executive session, and then at 5:30, a regular meeting. So we'll start with the Pledge Allegiance and salute to the New Mexico flag, acknowledgement of tribal lands, and then approval of our agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, which is a symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Saludo la bandera del Estado de Nuevo México, el símbolo de amistad perfecta entre culturas unidas. We acknowledge that our Board of Education meeting is taking place on occupied indigenous land. We acknowledge the Tesuque Pueblo lands and other tribal lands on which we stand. We honor these people, past, present, and future. We acknowledge the history and ongoing colonization of where we are sitting right now in New Mexico and in our country. We acknowledge our own place in the story of colonization. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda from the superintendent?
No,
Okay.
no, Mr. President.
Anything from the board? Can I have a motion regarding the agenda?
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. And now we have executive session. Dr. Gonzalez.
I'd like to move us into executive session where we're going to discuss limited personnel matter 10-15-1, H2, and threatened or pending litigation, NMSA 1978, Section 10-15, investigation of a complaint by licensed administrator and threatened litigation related to same. And B, threatened or pending litigation, Lily Taylor versus Santa Fe Public School Board of Education, et al.
Thank you. We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we will be in executive session. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
You want to try it? See,
Do I want to try it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
see if it comes through.
I mean, it gets very loud on its own. That would be nicer that way. And in that case, well, those mics will pick up the kids, right? A little bit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think
Just, okay. I'll turn it.
Okay, can I have a motion to come out of executive session? Dr. Gonzalez.
Excuse me. I'd like to move us out of executive session where we discuss limited personnel matters, section 10-15-1, H2, and threatened or pending litigation, NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1H7. Acting superintendent can update the board and legal counsel can advise regarding the status of investigation of a complaint by licensed administrator and threatened litigation related to same. And B, we threatened or pending litigation, NMSA 1978, section 10-15, 1H7, Lily Taylor versus Santa Fe Public School Board of Education et al.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so that brings us out of executive session, and now we have our introduction of our interpreter.
Para asistencia de traducción en español, la señora Peña te ayudará.
Thank you. School showcase, Atalaya Elementary, and I gotta say, I went to Atalaya from kindergarten to 6th grade, so there's a special place in my heart for the Roadrunners. So.
Mr. President, members of the board, Kathy Casaus, our Assistant Superintendent, will make the introductions.
President Abeta, board members, Interim Superintendent Dr. Garcia, thank you very much. And our first showcase this evening is from Atalaya Elementary. I'd love to introduce their principal, Kate Diaz. Come on down.
All right, I'm at that awkward stage. I don't need these for reading, and I did write down what I was going to say, so I didn't forget anything. Good evening, esteemed Board President Abeta, board members, and Superintendent Garcia. My name is Kate Diaz, and I'm the principal at Atalaya. It is my pleasure to be here to tell you a little bit about the amazing things that we are doing at Atalaya. At Atalaya, we are committed to creating a nurturing and inspiring environment where every student is welcomed and encouraged to reach their full potential. And our school values creativity, community, and academic excellence above all else, ensuring that all students have the tools and support they need to succeed. I could have highlighted many wonderful things at Atalaya, but one program that truly stands out is our music program. This program plays a vital role in our students' development, helping them build confidence, creativity, and teamwork from our pre-K through 6th grade general music classes and grade level performances to our 6th grade band. Our students have the opportunities to express themselves and connect with each other in very meaningful ways. The joy our students experience in music truly reflects the heart of our school and community. So as a matter of fact, I was so inspired by our music program that I briefly considered having this entire speech performed as a musical number. But I thought you might prefer something a little more traditional, and instead we are excited to present to you the opening number from our upcoming 2nd grade performance, A Journey into Outer Space, which will be presented to our community on Wednesday, March 19th from 5:30 to 6:15, and you are all more than welcome to join us, and no ticket is required. So right now, students, why don't you come and line up? And while they're getting ready, before I turn it over to our talented 2nd graders, I wanted to extend a heartfelt thank to you, Superintendent Garcia, and all board members for your continued support. It is because of you that we are able to provide these invaluable experiences for all of our students. So are you guys ready? You don't have to stay in a total straight line now. Thank you very much, Ms. Unger. That was excellent. Thank you for having us.
Well, that was spectacular. Don't leave, because I'm sure the board wants to tell you how wonderful you were. That was great fun. And next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Christina Gonzalez, our Fine Arts Coordinator.
I always think it's hardest to follow the little children. So there's a lot of pressure on you all, Capitol High School. Board President Abeyta, members of the board, Interim Superintendent Garcia, I am pleased to introduce Zachary Vigas, who is in his 9th year as the orchestra director at Capitol High School and a 4th year as orchestra director at Ortiz Middle School. Zach earned a Bachelor's of Music in Cello Performance with honors from UC Santa Barbara and a Master's of Music in Cello Performance from California State University in Sacramento. He is a respected and sought-after clinician and teacher whose students have won impressive scholarships, all-state placements, and acceptance into prominent music conservatories. Most recent, Capitol High School's advanced orchestra students achieved a superior rating at the 2025 North Central New Mexico Music Educators Association Music Performance Assessment, where they performed a challenging program of 20th century neo-Baroque works and mariachi repertoire arranged for orchestra. And I'll say, having visited some of Zach's classes, I'm always impressed with the incredible quality of the musicianship and the focus that students bring. But also, Zach has a wonderful capacity to build a sense of community and friendship and belonging among students with a lot of joy and a great sense of humor. So as soon as Zach is ready, I will turn it over to you, Zach, to make an introduction.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Dr. Garcia and members of the board. Thank you, Ms. Holiday. It's not without the wonderful support that we received from our great leadership that we're able to have such a great program. One of my students, Joshua Morales, is going to introduce the piece that we're about to perform and tell you a little bit about his experience. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Morales. I'm a senior at Capitol High School, and the piece we're going to play for you is called Modus of Four by Cheryl J. Atwell. And a little bit about my experience. It's been really fun these 4 years. This program, this orchestra has really inspired me to pursue music inside and outside of school. And Mr. McGee has a big part to do with that, or Mr. Vigas, sorry. He has a big part to do that. He's helped me through it. He's been patient with us, and he's made this experience 10 times better. Thank you, everyone.
That was beautiful. Thank you. You might also want to stay while the board retakes their seat, and to maybe say a few words, and it'll just take a moment, I'm sure, and then you all can exit. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was wonderful. Vice President Noble.
Thank you, President Abeyta. I just want to say a huge thank you to both our groups, to all the families and children from Atalaya. That was beautiful. That was great fun. And to you folks from Capitol, wow. It's incredible to hear you play, and thank you for coming and sharing that with us. Really appreciate it.
Board Member Bose.
Thank you, President Abeyta. Just want to echo what Vice President Noble said. We're so grateful to live in a district that values fine arts, and we got to see all the way from early grades all the way through high school all the talent that lives here, and we know how important arts are in education as a whole. So thank you to those schools for building communities around art and fostering that talent. I can't wait to hear stories from outer space, because I know at least one of you will make it there. Thank you.
Board Member Heffron.
Thank you very much, President Abeyta. I want to particularly acknowledge Atalaya's future astronauts. I think you guys are going to be terrific, and you should know my daughter is working for a company now that's looking for signals from outer space, and they do exist. And I would also like to the Capitol Band to know how wonderful you were, and terrific, and wonderful UC Santa Barbara, where I was an adjunct. Thank you very much. Yes. Congratulations to all of you. I love the STEAM, as you know, versus only STEM.
All right, and our student board members.
I just want to say that was really good, and I just wanted to share my experience, because I also went to Atalaya from the kindergarten to 6th grade, and Ms. Diaz was also my principal, but during my time there I had a lot of behavior issues, and I was in her office like every day, but I turned out fine. And I just wanted to say that like music and the fine arts is something that kind of kept me on the right track. Like I still do orchestra in high school, and I just want to say both performances were really great, and just music education is something really good.
Thank you.
I have nothing to say that hasn't already been said, but good job to both of you guys. Echoing Board Member Heffron's comments, Atalaya, you guys are going places. You guys have already went places, and you're going to go further. So good job, both of you.
All right. Thank you. Yes. And Superintendent Garcia.
Thank you. Tonight, I was leaving to this board meeting, and my husband says, well, how does the agenda look? Is it going to be a tough meeting? And I said, well, it's going to be a really great meeting, because we have the school showcase. I said, it's for me the best part of the night. So he said, well, make sure you video it for me. So now, and I wish I had videoed all the other ones, because fond memories, right, to see you all perform. And so for the little ones, you guys were so entertaining, and we just enjoyed you so much. Thank you, parents, for bringing them. Nice to see you, Ms. Diaz. And Capitol High, orchestra, wow, amazing. You should all be very, very proud of yourselves, and you made my day. Thank you.
And it's on YouTube, so you can see it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we have a public forum now. Mr. Abeta, do we have anybody that signed up to speak to us this evening?
Yes, President Abeta, we have 3, and then in person, and then 1 from online. So I'm going to go over the forum ground rules, public forum ground rules. Public forum includes online and/or virtual participation as needed, as well as in-person comments when the board holds in-person meetings. Please listen and speak with respect. No uncivil conduct will be permitted. Please do not discuss any specific student who is not your own. No sharing of time. Self-monitor and observe the 3-minute time limit. I will give you a 30-second warning when your time is almost up. Public commentary and dialogue are allowed only during the public forum, not throughout the meeting. Please search for answers on common ground. You may speak on any topic, whether it is on the agenda or not. Your input will be taken into consideration. Please be advised that the board may discuss your issue during the meeting, but by law, the board cannot take action on items that are not on the agenda. Please do not discuss employee matters which may result in disciplinary action. Instead, notify the employer's supervisors, the Human Resources Department, or the superintendent. And with that, I'd like to call our first speaker of the night, Lynn Bickley. Lynn?
Board President Abeta, board members, and Superintendent Garcia, good evening, and thank you for the success of our district's bilingual programs, early childhood initiatives, and wonderful science fairs. I am Lynn Bickley. I come to you as an individual and as a volunteer for 15 years in Santa Fe Public Schools. I come in support of community involvement in the selection of the new superintendent and in response to your agenda today. Our superintendent is one of the most important leaders in Santa Fe, who touches the lives of our children and shapes their future. The superintendent search is a unique opportunity to find an experienced, innovative leader, create 5-year plans for math and reading that engage every student and every parent, and strengthen community partnerships that ensure academic and life success for every child. District leaders, teachers, students, parents, and community, for this important recruitment, why not bring all hands on deck? Please consider a regional or national search, a broad process for nominations, community forums as in Albuquerque, and possibly even a community advisory team to support school board efforts. Muchas gracias por su atención amable. Debemos hacer más. Thank you.
Okay, up next, Marty Carblum. Is that correct? All right, awesome. Come on.
Hello, good to see you all here tonight. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I am a teacher at Capitol High School. Maybe some of you remember me. It's good to see Dr. Garcia here again. I have a really short, I guess, a request. In January, my esteemed colleague Garen Sprague came and spoke very well about the problem of cell phones and different devices in the schools, and there isn't much I can add to that. So Dr. Garcia, maybe if you have a chance to look at the video, I think it was January 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Very well spoken, very well said. I can't add a whole lot. I am following up on Lynn Bickley's request for you to think about this in your search for a superintendent, to really follow up, because what happened after that meeting is Larry Chavez invited Garen Sprague to speak, and he also spoke a little bit about what the state is going to do. And it's super important, and we just don't want to lose traction. Every day, this is a constant discussion. It's you can look at the video again. And I thank you so much for your time.
Okay, our last hen house speaker tonight is Raina Deneen. Is that right? All right, awesome. Great.
Thank you for having me. Welcome back, Superintendent Garcia. Many of you know of Reading Quest, but it's been since 2021 since I've given an update, and I thought, why not give an update? So we are a nonprofit. As you know, we've been providing multisensory structured literacy tutoring for low-income kids for 13 years now, and I've actually been tutoring kids here for 28 years in Santa Fe. We partner with Native American Student Services and lots of other nonprofits, Communities in Schools and Adelante. We now have centers at 10 different schools in New Mexico, and we tutor 460 kids every week. We tutor 216 students in Santa Fe, 114 during the school day, and another 100 after school and on Saturdays. We tutor another 244 kids during the school day at 7 other locations. We have 2 schools in Taos, 1 in West Las Vegas, Turquoise Trail Charter School, and 3 Pueblo schools, Okeowinge, Cochiti Pueblo, and Santo Domingo. All of our kids are referred by their teachers because they're reading at least 1 year below grade level. And that includes students with special needs and a number of students who are learning English, whether they've arrived from Afghanistan or Mexico or wherever they come from. And every single one of them makes incredible growth. And we collect their pre and post iStation scores, and they all love coming to Reading Quest. We have 24 paid reading specialists and a team of amazing work-based learning interns, thanks to that great program you all run. And this summer, we're providing for the first time free tutoring all of June, all of July, plus 2 Reading is Magic summer camps. We love the principals and teachers we get to work with at Aspen and Sweeney and Cesar, and we're really grateful for our partnership. So I just wanted to say thank you, and we look forward to continuing our partnership. Thank you.
Okay, we just have one email, and it is from Paul Ryer, and he looks like he's from the School for Advanced Research. Dear SFPS, thank you for all of your hard work to sustain and improve the educational environment for all Santa Fe students. I am writing as the parent of a senior at Mandela International Magnet School, which has been a terrific environment for my son and which I hope will continue to serve future students as well. Just 2 nights ago, I was at Mandela Palooza, a school-wide celebration of the arts and music. It was a wonderful evening full of students, teachers, and families. As I look around, however, I wondered how it could possibly work with the new building design, which is much smaller and simply does not have the range of spaces which an event like that needs. At Mandela Palooza, there was 1 space for live musical performances, another for visual art, and a third for exhibitors and a silent auction, and all were completely packed with people. Having attended a presentation of the new design, I simply cannot understand how the smaller footprint with only 1 multi-use space would serve the school community, let alone improve it. Thank you for allowing me to express this concern, and again, thank you for all you do to support the future of our community. All best, Paul Ryer. And that concludes public forum.
Thank you. Union update.
Good evening, Superintendent Garcia, President Abeta, members of the board. I am Christy Krennick, the NEA Political Action Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to give you our NEA update. First of all, NEA Santa Fe is requesting to be part of the SFPS superintendent search. We also echo the comments before, that a superintendent working strongly with our union only, is for the betterment of our students, our staff, and our community. The other thing I would like to update you about is a national event happening this Wednesday. It is called Walk In to Protect Our Public Schools. Wear Red for Ed. Over the country, we are gathering to support and uplift our public schools to resist the federal cuts to public education. So we are inviting members of the board, cabinet, community members to wear red, make some signs, we love our public schools, and to walk into a community school setting. And so I have flyers for the board. The other thing we'd also like for the board to consider is a resolution around supporting our immigrant students to ensure their safety. And so we have that as well. May I approach, or does this? And that is conclusion of our NEA update. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Great, thank you. Okay, student board member announcements and follow-up. Anything from our student board members?
So Aaron is out today, so I'll be reading Capital High School and Santa Fe High. So for Capital High School, they had 2 wrestlers place at state this weekend, Matthew Trujillo, a senior, and Joshua Baker, a sophomore. Their school was invited to participate in AP Day at the Roundhouse. Students and staff were able to participate in learning experiences with College Board and to meet with state lawmakers. Capital High School is collecting registration for the 25 through 26 school year from our current 9th through 11th graders students after school every day this week and Saturday morning. Incoming 9th graders will complete their registration online, and they are available to offer support to families who need it. They had an avid visit this week and were commended on the level of rigor in their classes. One observer noted, "The level of questions that students are bringing to their tutorials shows the level of rigor in their classes." Avid 2025 has been such an impressive and collaborative year. Despite having challenges due to COVID, their 8th grade year, and entering high school in a completely new environment, they have shown resilience and responsibility worth of their Avid title. It's going to be hard to have another class like them. They're a tough act to follow, says Avid teacher at Capital, who has nurtured this class for the past 4 years. Jose Garcia, Jose Reyes, Ricardo Rodriguez, and William Douglas all placed first at the National History Day event and will be going to state. Anada Bond, DJ Chavez, and Eric Beltran placed second. For Santa Fe High School, this year, Santa Fe High School awarded 33 seniors the Honor Blue designation, a prestigious award that recognizes students who excel in many areas. This is the highest merit award you can receive at Santa Fe High. 2 Santa Fe High School seniors, Axel Bukalfa and Logan Moore, received National Merit Finalist. 10 of Santa Fe High seniors also received Super Scholars, a designation to give to students in the top 10% of their class and with a qualifying standardized test score. Go Demons. The Thespian Club displayed the musical Mean Girls and sold out every show, every single night. Finally, Santa Fe High Science Bowl sent 3 teams to compete in Albuquerque last weekend, with 2 of them making semifinalists.
And then I'll be reading ECO, Desert Sage, and Mandela. ECO, a group of auto collision students, began the process to register and prepare to compete in Skills USA this April. This exciting event will test their students' skills against students from across New Mexico. ECO Wave Group will be attending Legislative Day of Action March 6th, and ECO's bilingual SEAL candidates will be presenting and be interviewed March 17th to March 21st. ECO's on track to double the amount of students receiving the bilingual SEAL this year. Desert Sage students have a new club to participate in, Hacking Club. The Hacking Club teaches students general system administration from the GNU Linux perspective. Each student can develop their skills and understanding of networking and cybersecurity. Finally, for Mandela, this month our seniors have been finalizing and submitting many of their final assessments for the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, including a 4,000-word research essay and specialized research papers for each of their classes. We are proud of them and congratulate them on all their hard work. Congratulations to senior Bodie Lewis, who's a Coca-Cola scholar. He's one of 150 in the USA that earned this prestigious award and the $20,000 scholarship. Mandela is extremely proud of 8th grader Alicia Wald, who finished first place for her grade level in this year's annual district STEM fair. We were also proud to have 3 of our seniors volunteer to help at the district science fair. Mandela was happy to organize 10th grade field trips to the Roundhouse during February, and we hope the students enjoyed watching the legislative process. Mandela Palooza, Mandela's annual celebration of the arts, took place March 11th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. We had great turnout with amazing visual arts, theater, and music performances. 7 Mandela 7th graders competed in the National Futures Cities STEM competition in Washington, D.C. over President's Day weekend. After winning the regional competition in Albuquerque in January, they represented New Mexico with their prototype of a floating city. Our 11th grade students traveled to the United World College on February 20th and 21st to attend the UWC Spring Conference with the theme of Overcoming Polarization. And finally, Mandela is proud of our group of seniors recognized as super scholars, members of the top 10% of their classes with impressive standardized test scores. Disclosure, I did write this. Congratulations to Bodie Lewis and Lucas Robbins.
Great, thank you. Board announcements and follow-up. Board Member Bozay.
Thank you, Board President Abeyta. I know that it was mentioned earlier, but the Regional National History Day competition did happen last week, and I want to give a shout out to the team from Amy Beal, Lucas, and Emma, who are going on to the state competition, and there are 8 teams from El Dorado Community School, Jordan, Lila, Miranda, Juniper, Leah, Elsa, Lily, Tessa, Dylan, Brody, Kate, Moira, and Rafe, Azalea, Disclosure, Mickey is my kid, Reese, Grayson, Lauren, Ramsey, and Willow. So congratulations to those students who get to compete at the state competition in April. The only other thing that I wanted to just mention to the board, in case you haven't seen it, it has been mentioned in the newspaper and on the ECO website, is the Icebox Challenge. So that's a building project that is being done and will commence with students doing a tiny house build, and there's a competition. It'll happen over the summer, and then all of the houses will be donated to the shelter for housing. So lots of fun things happening, hands-on education, and our career in technical education at work. Thanks.
All right. Other board, yes, Dr. Gonzalez.
I'm having a hard time talking today, dry throat. I just wanted to give you kind of a little bit of an update on what we're doing in the legislature. Yep. So tomorrow we should be voting on a cell phone bill. There were 2 different bills that came together, and I think this one is really good, and I believe it'll pass. It's passed through all the committees fairly easily. And like I said, it was 2 different bills that they combined to make a really good one. And tomorrow there's going to be a bill up on the science of reading, and that's about all I can remember right now.
All right. Well, thank you. Vice President Noble.
Just on that point, I believe that raises are in there as well for teachers at $5,000 for each tier. Yes. $5,000 more are in House Bill 2.
So 55, 60, 65.
Okay, great. Board Member Heffron.
President Abeyta and others, I also would like to bring attention to the fact that if you are a teacher in another state, there is legislation before us now that teacher coming to New Mexico could be paid at the right tier level as opposed to starting all over at tier 1 only. I know a friend of mine's son teaches in New York, makes $110,000, has been doing it for 15 years. If he comes here, he's down to 50 because he has to start all over. In other words, experience of our teachers has not been recognized traditionally here in New Mexico, and we need to change that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the board? Then let's move to our superintendent announcements and follow-up. Dr. Garcia.
Thank you, Board President, members of the board. First of all, I'd like to start with the recognition of our Vice President, Kate Noble, champion for early childhood education in New Mexico. She was awarded with the New Mexico History Makers Award. And we
Congratulations.
did put some stuff on the website, so congratulations, Vice President Noble. She was recognized in celebration for her unique and enduring contribution to the lives of people in her community, the state of New Mexico and beyond. They were proud to recognize her. And then there was a little addition here where they asked her different areas, and she had a quote, and I thought I would share with you her pivotal decision because it's, I think, important, and it relates to what we're doing here today. She said, the day after the 2016 presidential election, Noble decided to run for the school board. I found myself thinking that public education is a solution I need to work on. So much is about our education system, how we shape and support humans to grow into the future workforce. We're glad that you made that pivotal decision and the work that you all of you do every day for our kids. Thank you. All right, and then my next one is about movie night, and it was held on March 7th. 250 students participated. They watched The Wild, Robot, both provided in English and Spanish, and it was a wonderful opportunity for families to come together. Spring Budget Workshop 2025 will be held April 9th through the 11th at Sandia Resort and Casino. Feature presentations will include public school legislative outcomes, an in-depth session on 2025 and 2026 operating budget. Interim CFO Beverly Aguilar and I are just hoping and praying that we get the unit value during that meeting. Read Across America guest. On March 5th, the Deputy Secretary for the Office of Special Education, Dr. Margaret Cage, visited Ms. Pruse's kindergarten and first grade class at Amy Beale School to celebrate Read Across America. So that was exciting for them and for us. Work-based learning program headed by Jose Villarreal has a fully executed contract with the City of Santa Fe. And this came in February 26, 2025, securing $1.2 million. So that's not small change there. The funding will primarily support student intern wages, covering pay at $15 an hour. I had to read that twice because that's a big grant. You know, it's a big deal. So congratulations to all of you over in Deputy Superintendent's shop. Yay. And since its inception, they've provided over 400 students with meaningful internship experiences. So that's amazing. And I think everybody knows we had a remote day due to weather, and this is the first time we've had that kind of remote day with a preemptive strike of no electricity. And teachers were prepared. Parents gave kudos to the teachers. I think it was a good lesson for us in remembering to take home our laptops. You know, the whole team came together. Deputy Superintendent Romero, our CIO, Dr. Weaver, our, Deputy Superintendent for Operations, everyone. I can look over there, the whole thing, Mr. Abeda and the communications team, everyone came together, and we learned a lot, and we did a little continuous improvement exercise of what we're going to do different next time. So we're ready to rock and roll on that. Code of Conduct is up for review and revisions for the 25-26 school year. That working group has started, and you'll probably be hearing about that more late summer. And the Fine Arts Study Session, I hope that there will be one to discuss the task force at some point. And I believe that ends my announcements. Just be watching for the Santa Fe New Mexican to publish the district accountability results from New Mexico Vistas. Anticipate date to print should be is it still the 16th? Miss Thorenson. A lot of work from her in that regard, and participation is critically important in these assessments. Under federal law, all students are required to participate, and schools must meet 95% participation to avoid accountability penalties. And I believe we did pretty good on that, correct? So great job, everyone, all around. Thank you.
Great. Anything to follow up with the superintendent on? Yes, Vice President.
Thank you, President Abeta. Two quick things. do we know what period of time the city money is for? How many years is that? I'm guessing
know,
it's not one.
Do you know, Deputy Superintendent? Oh, right here, through 2029.
Okay.
I didn't want to read everything, or I would have been here for a long time, and Mr. Beta would have kicked me out. So.
Thank you. And my other question, I don't believe you said this, and I think you have told me individually when I asked you, but I'm going to ask you publicly now. When do we think we'll do the calendar for the next school year?
So I believe it will be at the next board meeting. Okay. And that also from our deputy there.
Thank you.
Okay, then that brings us to our action items. We don't need to take any action on item A, but item B, authorize legal counsel to proceed as discussed in executive session regarding pending litigation, Lily Taylor versus SFPS Board of Education et al., number 23-CV00821-MV-JHR. Can I have a motion? Dr. Gonzalez.
I'll move that we authorize legal counsel and board president to proceed as discussed in executive session regarding pending litigation, Lily Taylor versus Santa Fe Board of Education et al., number NO 23-CV00821-MV-JHR.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so that brings us to our consent items. We have 5 items to be approved under consent. Are there any that we'd like some clarification or ask a question about? Can I have a motion to approve the items on consent?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so board discussion and possible action. We're going to talk about the superintendent search, the qualifications, and the timeline.
Would you like me to go over that, Mr. President? or
Yes,
you-
thank you, and then we'll open it up to the board for discussion
So,
and
let's see,
questions.
qualifications first. So the board wanted us to work on the minimum qualifications. That's like the baseline, and then there are the preferred. And they should be in your packet here for discussion. They were embedded in the job description, not the job description, but the proposed posting. It's on the second page. The minimum qualifications are a master's degree from an accredited institution with the ability to hold a New Mexico administrative license, 5 years teaching K-12 of experience, and 10 years combined school and district or charter-based administrative experience, K-12, a proven track record of great integrity and commitment to the ethics required of a public school leader in New Mexico. And there's a link there for the New Mexico Code of Ethical Responsibility. Preferred qualifications, terminal degree in education, 5 years teaching K-12 experience in a public school setting, 10 years of public school administrative combined experience as a principal and district or charter school leader, experience in working with labor unions and adhering to collective bargaining agreements, previous experience in New Mexico schools, bilingual, and working in culturally diverse communities. And then, of course, there's a whole series of qualities, but these are the minimum and preferred qualifications. So again, I want to make clear that that's not the only thing the board is looking at, okay?
Are there any questions from the board regarding the qualifications? No? Okay. Oh, Vice President Noble, sorry.
Well, I guess, and I know we can move on and talk about the timeline, which is really key, but just to say that part of what I think we're all holding, and of course my fellow board members can disagree with me as needed, but is that we want to get a posting out there. This is the time when people who are looking to be superintendents are looking for jobs. And there's really an element of that we want to be extra special in the sense that everybody will want to work here and will, forgo another job to work in the Santa Fe Public Schools. I think we're very aware of the sort of professional timeline of the cycle of the industry, if you will, in New Mexico. So I appreciate all the hard work that Dr. Garcia and plenty of others have put into the job description, the posting, which, getting a little ahead, it should go up very soon so that we can start getting applications in. And, I hope that we can ask for some of the vetting and checking to sort of be done on a rolling basis, even though we do have a closing period for the posting. And ultimately, the community input we need to do as well, and I think we really all do value what we want to hear from our community in terms of the qualities needed in a superintendent. We want to hear what's important, what that should sort of feel like with the community in terms of the interactions and engagement that we ask a superintendent to lead on behalf of the district with the community, because Santa Fe has a lot going on, and we have, I think, very high standards. We have, as Dr. Garcia touched upon in the qualifications, a lot of diversity, multiculturalism, diverse views, and we ask a lot of a superintendent in terms of political savvy, educational savvy, leadership ability, and all of that. And I just am so grateful that we're able to move quickly because I really do think time is of the essence. Thank you.
Yes, Board Member Heffron.
President Abeyta and board members, everyone. I would also like us to make sure we're very aware that our next superintendent will be dealing with a national scene, which we have not seen before, at least in my lifetime. As we watch the news, as the Department of Education is slowly eradicated, sometimes quickly, we're going to be looking as a board and with our superintendent at these issues more importantly than ever before. I also want to make sure, and we have it on one of our bullets, that this person would also be able to integrate technological advancements that we now have going on, whether it's the use of cell phones, whether it's the use of technology and AI by teachers and students, but that we have a very modern approach to also evaluating the candidates that come before us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Board Member Brose.
Thank you, President Abeyta. In addition to what Vice President Noble said, I really just, the piece that I wanted to kind of highlight from this job description and qualifications is really, that she didn't mention, is also the innovation that we have in SFPS. We're often said to be a flagship district, and that's because we try things and we do different things, and we've seen all of this emergence of new programs in the past few years, and I think that's definitely part of what's helping our outcomes, and we want to see those things continue to grow. We want students to have better experiences and be more engaged, and education is changing. It's the whole world is changing, and so we need leaders who can see those things and make room for new and changing programs and bring innovation to our district. Thank you.
May I also add something?
Yes, Board Member Heffron.
I wanted to make sure we also understand that our mission statement for the public schools includes the words diversity and equity and inclusion. And I would like to reaffirm that we continue to honor those words for our public schools in Santa Fe. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments regarding the qualifications? Dr. Garcia.
So do you want to, are you going to take an
Yeah,
action
good.
on
No,
it,
go.
or-
Yeah. So the.
And then we'll do the timeline after?
Yeah. So the I don't believe there's any changes being recommended to the qualifications as presented this evening, so is there a motion to approve the qualifications as
I'll move
presented?
approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. You have your qualifications. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Now we'll talk about the timeline.
Okay. All right, what we've been all waiting for. So there is I'm just going to go through this timeline, and you all might need to make an adjustment if necessary. So this is fluid. It's a draft timeline. I think the elements will stay the same, but dependent on the pool of candidates. Someone has to go out of town on an emergency. This might be modified, okay? But you have a general framework of the times, so don't take it to the bank that these are exact dates, but this is what's being proposed. But the elements that I'm going to talk about will remain the same. It might just be a different date. So individual input, I worked with each board member individually to work on these qualifications and characteristics and whatnot, skills and experience. And then tonight, the board is taking action on the qualifications, the posting, and the board will approve the schedule tonight. So we're right on track. Check, check. All right, next thing. Post all community staff student forum notices. So beginning next week, you will be hearing from a firm that was contracted by the district, Carroll Strategies, to let people know when the forums are going to be, all right? So that you can start giving input to the board on the qualities that are important to you of the next Santa Fe Public School superintendent. Post the vacancy on Monday, March 17th, or soon after, no later than the 18th. And so that is our plan to post this, and it will be posted on our website. And so be watching for a very innovative post by Mr. Abeda before he leaves on vacation, not leaving permanently. Let's make that very clear. But he's very creative, and you're just going to have to wait and look at our website when you see that. I was very impressed. But it will be advertised nationally, AASA, Ed Week, and then in-state, with the New Mexico Coalition of Educational Leaders, we're going to have it on REAP. I'm trying to think of the other one. I have a list, but there's like 3 or 4 places in-state CES. It will be posted around the state and, of course, prominently on our website. And, of course, you all will be great messengers of this posting to tell people to look for it. And then we will have the forums. There'll be a community, staff, student, parent forums, and they will most likely be start beginning the week of March 17th through the 21st. And then we will be looking at, this closes, the ad closes on the 17th, and we hope to have packets to the board by the 24th of April. I mean, that's the goal. Now, obviously, if we didn't get enough packets or applications, we might extend the deadline, so that's why I say all of this is fluid. The special board meeting or executive session, most likely Friday, April 25th. If there's a problem, you'll let me know with that. The school board will interview to select the finalists, like the top 3 finalists, most likely. I mean, now it's not necessarily 3, it could be 2, it could be 4. It's really up to the board after they interview who they want to go to the finalist forums, which will be held April 30th. So the community will have an opportunity to come and ask questions of the candidates, and the board will be working on that process of basically evaluating how they interact with our public and how they conduct themselves. So you'll have an opportunity to come and ask questions of the candidates. And then there will be a special board meeting, again, possibly May 1st. They will select the candidate, then they go into negotiations with the candidate, and hopefully we can announce the candidate Tuesday, May 6th. Might be sooner, might be later, but that's basically the format.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Garcia. So as I look at the the items, I highlighted three, or what looks like three opportunities for public participation. First, there'd be community staff student forums the week of the 17th all the way and/or through the 4th. Then there's also going to be a survey, it looks like, that the community staff and students will be able to participate in. And then there'll be a finalist forum towards the end of April.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions or comments or observations from the other board members? Vice President Noble.
On the initial forums that we're talking about starting as soon as next week, just to also point out, we have spring break in the middle of that, the week of the 24th. So I think we're talking about forums the week of the 17th and forums the week
March 31st through April 4th.
Yeah, March 31st through April 4th as well. So we get 2 bites at that, but spring break's in between.
Correct.
So that's part of it, and lots of us will be traveling then. And as Dr. Garcia said, we'll be advertising in all the right places for the professionals, statewide and nationally. But of course, we do also really want the word of mouth to happen. So please, for our community, let people know that this is happening. We'll be releasing this draft timeline,
Yes,
correct?
yes, yes.
Okay, so that'll be out there, and ultimately the positions will close April 17th, by close of business, I believe, right? On
Correct.
April 17th, which is in fact a Thursday. So that'll be the time upon which we finally get hopefully, a great group of candidates to choose from.
May I make a point on that, Mr. President?
Yes.
So if you're wanting to see, okay, what does the posting really look like? You're going to see on the advertisement probably just 2 paragraphs. And then it'll say for more information, go to www.sfps.info. So you'll click on that, and then there you'll see all of the characteristics and qualifications of what they were looking for. So again, where you see gaps or other things that you think are super important, you're going to make that known at your community forums.
Yes, Board Member Bouze.
President Abeyta, and where Dr. Garcia just reviewed where the job description and qualifications, how people will see that in the community, and what about the timeline? Will that be
So the
posted on
timeline, we'll figure out where to
SFPS.info?
put it on the website.
Okay.
We'll have a button for it, or maybe we'll have superintendent search button possibly. And what I was trying to explain a while ago is you'll see the job posting, and it'll be like 2 paragraphs. And then you'll see for more information, click on our site. It'll take you, and I think maybe we're thinking of making it more direct where it'll have everything. But will it have the rest of the qualifications and all of that on there? It'll take you there. So then you can see the rest of it. Okay, it'll all be there. And actually, we should have the timeline there for the applicants so that they can plan. If they're planning an amazing trip to Europe or something, they may want to postpone it if they're betting on themselves. And so we'll probably have it in 2 places.
Okay, and and what about how's the public gonna know about the survey, the forums,
So there'll be tremendous amount, Mr. President, members of the board, if I may. That's part of what Carroll Strategies will be doing and working with us. It'll be on our website, but it'll be on Remind. I think there's going to be maybe some things on radio. There might be little ads in the newspaper, social media. So I think it's going to be very well publicized, and we do hope that students will participate. So be sure you pass the word when they have the student forums, that they do participate, and let us know what they are wanting in their superintendent.
Okay, yes, Board Member.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent, Mr. President, members of the board. Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. You know, I think the problem with getting student engagement is always, especially on forums, it's always just kind of hard. And especially Mandela, we just moved over to SFPS's domain, but in a recent survey, we didn't even receive the survey because we use a different email domain than SFPS. So just those are some things I'd say to be aware of. And I think if you could, if it would be possible to maybe work with principals or administrators and make sure there's a set time in schools for students to answer that form, whether that's homeroom or a specific class, that would be most helpful. That's when I find, the teacher says, show me you finished the form before you can leave. And I think that always works well. So there's just some thoughts to think about with that form. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah.
You don't get to leave until you're done.
Okay, anything else regarding the timeline? Vice President Noble.
Well, just really a comment on this issue, and ultimately, a thank you to Dr. Garcia. A lot of districts can spend a lot of money to outside consultants who guide a process like this, develop a timeline like this, think through all of the details and issues and engagement that's needed with community. And we are, as is often the case with Dr. Garcia, getting 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 or many things in an interim superintendent and in the guidance on this process. She guided us the last time through the process when she had resigned, and it worked quite well. 3 of us have done this before with Dr. Garcia's guidance, and I just want to acknowledge that it is no small task to put together minimum qualifications, a job description to adjust for the times, to put together a timeline, think through all of the things with spring break and graduations coming in May and when we'll be able to, and knowing what the rhythms of the profession are. So I just want to acknowledge that we are doing this, I think, efficiently and effectively, and I really appreciate that it's taken already a lot of hard work from Dr. Garcia and the team. I really appreciate the folks at the district who have, rolled up their sleeves and gotten involved, and we are able to do a lot. We've heard about how Joe's going to be getting the information out. We have a lot of tools with this district, but I just don't want to take for granted how this often goes and how much we'll be able to save in both really time and money, because we don't have to spin our wheels, because we have in-house expertise on how to do this. So just thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we accept the timeline, the draft timeline as presented tonight.
Knowing that the dates, though, may shift as we go.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, is there anything else from board discussion and possible action that maybe isn't noted on the agenda? Vice President Noble.
I have 2 items that I'm hoping we can discuss at future meetings, and certainly, again, welcome any objections if any of my board members think these are a waste of time. Ultimately, I have had a number of parents reach out to me about screen time and screen time for little ones, how we're using our tablets and devices, particularly in kindergarten. As an early childhood person, I feel we need to be looking closely at this. There are a number of things that are happening, and ultimately, I guess, COVID, I feel, changed our sort of structures and internal makeup in relation to technology and screens and how we use them. And I would like us to be very intentional about best practices and thinking about this. So I would imagine we have a number of things in place, but of course it's also how you proliferate that throughout the district to classrooms, how teachers use that. So really, I think what I'm asking for is the guidance of our current superintendent with Dr. Weaver and the team and lots of people to inform the board how this works and to look at it and see if there's anything that, any action that the board might do, but I feel I don't know what we're doing, and I just want to make sure that we're very intentional about screen time and guidance and professional development for our teachers and other staff as to how this should work.
And again, it's bubbling up in lots of places because, and I know there's probably a lot of intentionality, there always is behind the scenes, but I think we need to sort of bring it out into the open now, given that our DNA has kind of changed post-COVID relating to technology. Okay, seeing no, I'll move on to the other one. And this is just a little bit more of a heads up. President Abeyta, I'm hoping you will talk to me about this and dig in. But as you may know, and others may be aware, but some not, our colleagues at the city are embarking on a pretty significant update on land use and zoning. And there are some changes that really look at stimulating affordable housing, making sure that we have the structural pieces in place to support affordable housing in this community. We know this has been a significant issue for this district and for our educators because of the escalating price of housing of late. So I just really want to say that I hope to bring an item for us to talk about this and weigh in as a board on some of this land use update, in particular where we can and should lend our voice to the conversation about affordable housing. As a former, I'll say, person who oversaw, I'm not a planner, but did oversee long-range planning and affordable housing at the city. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about using our property. We've talked about down payment assistance and other items for affordable housing for educators. The biggest single thing we can do is probably a zoning update and a land use update. So this is actually sort of the big move, and I'd like us, again, to weigh in intentionally on that. So.
Vice President Noble, yeah, that would be great. And matter of fact, the issue has come up a couple of times at our CRC meetings as we look at the facilities master plan and right-sizing schools, right-sizing the district. It's kind of like, well, hey, hang on, there might be more development coming or that's planned that we don't know about. And so, yeah, I think that would be great if we could have a discussion and ultimately take a position on
Mr. President, on that point.
Yes.
So staff also has approached me about what's happening with Midtown and with that facility, that area of, which the development I'm talking about there, that there seems to be some nexus with our fine arts programming. And so we want to have a conversation with that, including our facilities people and whatnot, and our academic folks, and bring it to you guys as well, or to the CRC, wherever it belongs.
Great.
First.
Okay, anything else from the board? Then let's take a look at advanced planning. We are in the middle of our facilities master plan work at the CRC, so we've got a CRC scheduled for the 19th. Then, of course, spring break is the week of the 24th through the 28th. Another CRC meeting scheduled for the 2nd. And then potentially an executive session and a meeting on April 10th. Anything else regarding advanced planning?
Mr. President?
Yes.
So just be thinking, as my 5-year-old grandson said, in my mind, as opposed to his elbow, but thinking about budget and priorities. Yes. Staff have been very diligent in having the budget workshops with staff, but, and of course, you have spring budget workshop, but I'm probably going to research what your priorities were last year, how they were developed, and then we need to see where you all are. So be thinking about that and process as we look at our dates. I understand you've streamlined the process some, so I just kind of want to stay with your schedule. But I know I had like 2 or 3 major tasks. One was the superintendent search, and now it's like, okay, now budget. I got to work on that next. So get you through that.
Can you say again when spring budget workshop is, that we may or may not, we hope we get the unit value?
April.
Okay.
April 9th through the 11th. So actually, we have a board meeting right 10th. In there.
Yeah.
And so some of us will be in Albuquerque and then coming back here for the board meeting. So, I don't know. Usually they announce it. Depends, right? They may not, but I hope they do. Ms. Aguilar, did you want to talk to that at all, Mr. President?
Yes, by all means.
Oh, sorry. They usually announce the unit value, and they will give information regarding mandated salary increases and so on and so forth. So I'm thinking that we probably won't be able to present to the board spring budget updates, probably the next board meeting, April 24th. I believe we have a board meeting.
Yes.
So that'll be a good timeline to give all the information regarding what they present at the spring budget workshop.
But we do have a study session, Finance Subcommittee study session on the 17th. So we probably should have that information for them at the 17th and get their priorities and maybe just a general overview. Particularly we have Ms. Heffron, who's new, just the basics of the budget and how that's developed, because it's a little counterintuitive for some reason.
Yes, we can do that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else before we adjourn? Nope, then we are adjourned.